Welcome back to the Dare to Dream podcast, where we share the lessons, learnings, and life changing moments that come from following your dreams. My name is Vincent Van Patten, and this is going to be my last episode from Japan. What a crazy, crazy experience. Life is changing right now. It's my final week living in Japan, and it is absolutely a surreal feeling. I'm just going to walk through what's been going on lately, the things that I'm feeling, what's coming next, what's been exciting, what's been going on. This is a solo episode, and it is a bittersweet one. I'm feeling a lot right now. I'm slowly getting things moved out of my apartment. I'm really just giving a lot of things away because I don't want to ship things back to the United States. So, got a couple of suitcases, and the rest given to Salvation Army, kind of all the home goods. Um, but yeah, it's been a journey. It has been the most pivotal season of my life. No doubt about that, living in Japan for the last 2.5 years. And I'll start with just how it feels to be just kind of getting rid of things and simplifying. That's a good one. Simplifying. I'm kind of a minimalist. I'm living this nomadic lifestyle where I want to be able to move around the world and live in different countries, at least while I'm young, while I'm kind of pursuing this unorthodox life of a writer, content creator, photographer. Um, it feels really good to not have a lot of stuff and to kind of be more or less unencumbered as I just go about my life. And I live in a pretty small apartment here in Tokyo. You're pretty much looking at the entire thing if you're watching this video. It is a studio. Got a tiny kitchen with one stovetop, pretty much a mini fridge, floor, futon bed, Japanese style, a table that's like low to the ground on the floor, got a desk, and that's really it. I'm giving away the furniture. I'm giving away some clothes, giving away pretty much all my books. I want to go back to the United States with just a couple of bags so I can move to another country again in the next few months. I'll talk about where that might be a little bit later, but it feels good to just get rid of things that mean a lot to me. I'm going to be, like, obviously, it feels good to get rid of stuff that is just clutter, but I'm giving away some things too that are meaningful to me, that have a lot of meaning from my time in Japan, but it's time to say goodbye to them and donate them, and maybe they will make somebody else happy somewhere else. Like the books, that's a big one. I'd love to take them with me, and if I've been building my book library ever since I started reading out outside of college or out after college, I would have a pretty epic library right now. But I've given a lot of books away to my friends, Greg being one of them, and I'm giving away the ones that I've collected here in Japan. So I'm going to start fresh, and it's a good feeling. It's exciting to be going through this process right now of simplifying myself, because when I have less things and I know that I'm not carrying a bunch of stuff that I don't need, I kind of just feel lighter in myself, in my being. And that's how I want to feel. When it comes to clothes, I like having less stuff that I really care about, stuff that has memories, that means a lot to me, just staple pieces that I love and that have character. And I'm still even going to give some of those pieces away, because something I learned that when I moved from San Diego is you don't just give away things that no longer serve you or that you don't need or you don't love. You give away, obviously this is my opinion, but it feels good to give away some things that you actually do still love, and that maybe you're on the fence. You still like, I think I'm giving away this coat that I've pretty much taken on, I got like 7 years ago, and I've had it on the most memorable trips of my life. My first trip to Japan, I was wearing it the entire time, and I've worn it throughout my time here, whenever it gets cold. And the time has come to part ways with it because I think it's time and it feels right. And I wanna give it off. So if you're going through this process, decluttering, what have you, maybe think about that. Give away some things that actually you still love too, because when you give away something like that, that love spreads and that energy, it's carried with you. And I like to think about books that way a lot. Like, I still love all the books on the shelf, but I'm not going to read all of them again. There's some books I keep going back to and reread. And maybe if I kept these books around, I would read them again. But somebody else may read them if I give it away. So why not do it and move on? So that's that. I'm leaving. I'm leaving on Saturday. It's Tuesday now. Heading back to the United States. My girlfriend Coco has been here with me for the past 3 months. What a journey that has been. Us living together in this tiny apartment. It has been awesome. Like the fact that we've done it, we haven't fought. We've gotten to know each other so much better. We've had incredible experiences. We've gone through our own trials and tribulations, and we've gone through it and become closer. And our relationship, which is quite new, has become much stronger because of what we've experienced here. It has been freaking awesome. And we're going back to start the next chapter together. So this past weekend was my last weekend in Japan, at least while living here. I will be back because I love this country. I love it. I'm about to take a sip of my Family Mart coffee, which is a staple in my daily life. Just published my newsletter this week, and it was an ode to the konbini, which is the Japanese convenience store, because there's something magical about it, and it's really what I'm going to miss most about Japan. That may be an exaggeration, but I'm going to miss it. I love the konbini. You get the onigiri, the rice balls on a daily basis. I've loved them dearly ever since I came to Japan. I first saw my first glimpse of an onigiri was Spirited Away, when the little girl is crying. She's like going through a hard time, and the boy gives her just this massive onigiri rice ball, shape of a triangle, and she's just crying and she's nibbling on it. I'm like, oh my god, that's Japan. That's Japan in a nutshell. I need that. I'd be lying if I said I haven't cried while eating an onigiri before. It's kind of a rite of passage. You get those, you get good coffee, drip coffee for about $1 US, and it's quite good. So instead of like a $12 Starbucks or something, you get the konbini. It's the working man, working woman's coffee. And there's just something about the convenience store that's just part of culture here. It's clean. It's stocked with, obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious, but Japanese snacks are really unrivaled. They're known as some of the best snacks in the world, with good reason. And Coco being here has really broadened and elevated my snack game to new heights that I wasn't a huge snacker before. For her being here, I'm like, what am I doing? We got 3 months left living here. I'm no bars held. We're gonna have some fun, and pretty much, we're both very healthy people, but we've been snacking hard, and it's been great. If I want an onigiri, I have it. I have it. I don't hold back because I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him so much when I'm gone. And we've been really into chestnuts. They do steamed chestnuts. It's kind of the underrated snack of the konbini. It's not getting a lot of love, a lot of publicity. This is the chestnut, and that's a shame. It's really a shame because they are subtle, Japanese woman once told me that like, the best compliment you could give someone is that their dessert is subtle. It's not too sugary. It's not too sweet. You say it's subtle, they'll be thrilled. The chestnut's really a shining example of that. So we love the chestnut. Then you got like there's these seaweed, seafood flavored crunchy balls that there's like peanut butt, peanut butter, and seaweed. It's kind of salty sweet, and I love them. They're like in this blue package. I think they're my favorite Japanese snack. Um, you got wasabi flavored like potato chips, and there's just it's beautiful. But I wrote this in my newsletter. I kind of broke it down a little bit why I think the konbini is so good here in Japan, and it's because it is such a vital part of Japanese life. And I compare it to America because that's where I'm from, but that's where I'm from. In the United States, I figure that, everything's spread out. You pretty much need a car to go to drive to get around. The train systems are not what they are in Japan, but I mean, Japanese trains are just brilliant. Like you could get anywhere in the country pretty much. It is nice to have a car if you do have one because you could get to some remote spots like in the mountains and kind of more countryside, but you really don't need it, especially in the cities. The train systems are phenomenal. So that's back to the thing about America. It's like so spread out that you kind of need a car. So you're driving around, and yes, there's convenience stores, but they're kind of the afterthought. They accompany getting gas. So you stop, you get gas, and then maybe you pop inside as well, and you grab some beef jerky or something, but it's more of an afterthought. And America's known as having like the sketchy hot dogs and the Cinnabons and, just real junk food in there. And it's just kind of I've been to some pretty grim convenience stores in the United States. I'll tell you that. So it's just less part of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is. But in Japan, there's a convenience store literally on like every street corner because there's three main ones: Lawson's, Family Mart, and 7-Eleven. And you'll find one of the three every block or two in every main city. And then they're scattered throughout like, the countryside as well. And then there's some other brands that are kind of, they're the B team. They're the B team. Then you got the Daily Yamazaki. You got I think it's Mini Mart. The kind of the a little rough around the edges, maybe a little fluorescent lighting going on. It's a little dodgier. But the big three are 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson's. And there's really no ceiling to how good they could get. It's kind of depending on where the location of the spot. They actually stock them differently depending on like the clientele and stuff. Like the best one that I've ever been to is a Natural Lawson's in Ginza, which is like the really high-end shopping area of Tokyo. It's like, Louis Vuitton and Gucci and stuff. Me and my girlfriend went in there and we were just blown away. It was kind of like being in an Erewhon, which is the LA grocery store that's like pretty bougie and extremely expensive, but they got great stuff. That's what this felt like. And what an experience. I think that's my all-time greatest konbini experience. Just like beautiful packaging and just a variety of things I'd never seen before. And they had like a coffee bar with like live plants and greenery, and just it was a beautiful experience. And I'm gonna miss the konbini. It's more than just, well, also another factor why I think they're so important here is because also in America, they say in the United States everything's bigger. Maybe that's just Texas, but we got Costco, and it makes sense to go to Costco and kind of do bulk buys for a month because it's cheaper. We got big fridges, and we throw even some people got that second fridge in the garage where you got just drinks in there. You got Gatorades and Coca-Cola, maybe some LaCroix. you got room. It's different here in Japan. I got my freezer's in my mini fridge, so it's constantly leaking because it doesn't stay as cold. So it's either I turn all the cooling all the way up and some of the stuff in the fridge freezes, but then I don't have a watery fridge, or I turn down a little bit and you might have a little leakage going on. But that's just the game I'm playing. Um, so here everything is smaller, and you go to the konbini. I get groceries every day, pretty much, and they have just lots of little prepackaged items, like a side of a couple of soft boiled eggs with some kelp on top or something like that. Just random little stuff that's actually quite healthy, made fresh every day. Pretty damn good. It's just kind of different. And smaller houses, smaller living space, smaller kitchens. So everything's just kind of smaller in it. It's just really helpful to have like pre-packaged side dishes and little things. And you could just you could definitely live off of convenience store food. It's probably not the healthiest because it's pre-processed stuff and everything, but you could 100% do it. It's cheap. And beyond just food, convenience stores has like office supplies. They got beauty supplies. They got home goods. Like it's where I get toilet paper and dish soap and stuff. And then you could do like your taxes there. You could pay your bills, pay your phone bill. They got printers. You could do copying really easily. ATMs. It's pretty much everything you need is in the konbini, and you could find one wherever you go. So it's just that convenience of Japan that it's known for. The konbini is just a shining example of that. And I know I'm going on about this, but it's important to me. Convenience store, it's nostalgic for me. There's no drinking law. Well, there's no open container laws in Japan, so you can have a beer like when you don't know. When you're going from bar to bar, you stop in the konbini, you get a beer, and you just sit out front of the Family Mart, sipping beers and watch people go by, and that's just part of the vibe in Japan. Um, I've had so many late nights, and they're open 24 hours, which is insane. So each one is just always open. So no matter what you're doing, you can pop in the konbini and get a snack or a drink or something and go about your business. And I've had lots of late nights, slipping in the konbini, just having fun, debauchery with the friends. I've had a lot of early mornings, go grab a coffee on your way to work or going to the gym or catching the train to go somewhere. You always pop into the convenience store and grab an onigiri or a coffee or something. And it's warm in there during the winter. It's cold and air conditioned in the summer. They got little jingles playing. It's got Christmas decorations, and given the time of year, they got like Pokemon cards and Dragon Ball Z action figures and just like pop culture stuff. Japan is part of the allure and what makes it so interesting. It's kind of got this childlike atmosphere, this childlike wonder to it. Um, Anime and Pokemon, and it's infuses everything. Like the city ads have like Pokemon in them, and like on the trains there's ads for like using anime characters and stuff. It's just everywhere, and it creates this kind of childlike atmosphere. And then that mixed with it being so safe and so clean, like it's just like an adult playground. That's really what it is. And convenience stores are part of that. So I'm gonna miss them. I'm gonna miss this country. There's so much to it that I'm gonna miss. Just the beauty of it, the everyday life, just being able to go on weekend excursions and hop on the bullet train, the Shinkansen, and go somewhere new, like I did last weekend, which I'll tell a story about. The nature, it's all right there, intermingled with the cities that are just obviously awesome. Tokyo, Osaka, Sapporo up in Hokkaido, the northernmost island. You got Kyoto, which is one of the most beautiful ancient cities of the world. It's just an unbelievable place. The food is my favorite in the world because it's just like healthy and seasonal, and I could have it, you know, nonstop. It's pretty much what I eat back home is just like meat and vegetables, and I love sushi, and they got it all here, soups, and it's good. Food is incredible. The people are awesome. The nightlife is super cool. The music scene, the fashion, the sports, and just the culture, and just then you got the history and the beauty of the arts and the poetry and the ceramics, and it's just such a unique culture, and everything done here is done so well. And that's what also makes the convenience store so awesome, is because, and why I think it's different from the US, is that it's the people who work there that really make it special. Like, I have my local family mart here that I go to like every day. And I just know the people working there. Like, they're Japanese, and my Japanese is not that good, but so it's not like we're talking much, but exchange pleasantries, and I know them, they know my face. It's just comfortable, and they take pride in what they do, no matter what it is. Like the convenience store, working at one is an admirable job here in Japan. It makes the country go round, and there's it's just necessary, and it doesn't matter what it is in this country. They're going to do it well. They're going to take pride in it, and it makes this place work. It just makes it run so well. And obviously, I'm getting sentimental about it and saying all the good stuff. There is, of course, no matter what country it is, it has its downsides, its troubles, its problems. But hey, no place is perfect. Um, I'm gonna be sad to leave for sure. Like I said, it's been a life changing chapter, transformative. I've become who I am during my time in Japan. I've really grown a lot. I've made some of my best friends. I guess I'll just tell a story now because this past weekend, first on Friday night, me and Coco, we went to my favorite bar here in Tokyo called Bar Tangle in Shibuya, and it was so sick. Just run by this awesome couple, Michael and Mio, and they were having like a sick event that night. So we met some of Coco's friends who were visiting Japan and took them there, and just it was nostalgic. It was my first time showing her that bar, and we came here for the first time on my 2019 trip to Japan, my first trip here. We just kind of stumbled into that spot, and it just became the place I've taken all my friends over the years, and we've all become good friends with the owners, and it was perfect to go there one last time. And then me and her went to one of the most well-known clubs in the world called Vent, and it's known to have the best, or one of the best music systems. So the place was awesome. I'd never been. You can't, they like put a sticker on your phone so you can't take pictures and stuff. And it's just beautiful inside. It's like very kind of modern, and it just has a Japanese feel. It's like kind of empty. There's not a lot of clutter, just a beautiful space, beautiful walls, like a nice tree in the middle of it. And it was cool to have just like a light on the tree and a big white canvas on the wall, and like the shadow of the tree was like the art on the canvas. I thought it was cool. And then the music was, I can't, I'm not a huge music buff. I love music, but I'm not like super into getting into the weeds of sound systems and stuff. But we saw Tiger and Woods. I think they're an Italian DJ group. A couple of DJs, these two dudes, super sick. We were just just dancing hard, and we don't drink. But we were just there vibing, having a great time. Well, I drink sometimes, but not with Coco because she doesn't, and you really don't need to. But from time to time, I still partake, usually when seeing my friends, and I think I've just made it. It's definitely not an every weekend thing anymore. Um, it's pretty much special occasions, and that makes it, yes, more special because like this, we did that Friday, and then on Sunday I went and met up with my two best friends here in Japan, Joe and Pat, Joe-san and Patrico-sama, and we met in Nagoya, which is the fourth biggest city in Japan, but it really doesn't get any attention. It's kind of just more like a working class city. Like it's like an hour and a half from Osaka, like 2.5 hours from Tokyo. I took the Shinkansen down there, the bullet train. It was kind of like a joke. Like we had no reason to go, but it was the perfect place for us three to meet one last time. Is to go meet in Nagoya and just have a lads' day, and just we were just drinking. It was raining and bopping around, having like going to smoky little yakitori bars, like um, chicken skewers, yakitori, and had some ramen, and ended up at the club because we were out all night. Because yeah, I was catching the bullet train back in the morning, and it was just debauchery and so much fun. So like that is an occasion that I would drink for now, because hard to be out all night if you're not drinking. It was great. I fucking love those guys. If you're listening, boys, I love you so much. This my time in Japan would not be a quarter of as good as how it has been without you guys. We met our first week here in Japan. We were all English teachers, and we met in Osaka. We were in the same training group. Me, Joe, Pat's girlfriend Paige, and then our friend Ashley, and we called ourselves the Big Five. Us five really just hit it off, and we've been best friends ever since. We had the best times in Osaka. Um, they're all still there, but we're all kind of moving on. Um, yeah, things are just changing. I'm heading back home. I think the rest of the gang is leaving soon, or relatively soon, or I believe Ashley's staying a bit longer because she's really got a nice web of friends here, and she's very social and has made awesome friends around the country, and she's crushing it. And but it was just insane how it was our training group. Like we just got here and we all just we clicked, because it was we got here at the end of COVID. Japan was the last democratic country to open its borders. So like Europe was open. So that was right after I finished my trip, which I write about in my latest book, where I just released When the Sky Opens and the Answers Shimmer. I'll get to that later. But that trip where I was living in a hostel in Lisbon and then on a farm in Calabria, Italy, I just wrapped that up. And then Japan got the job to come here and teach right after that. But it was still closed to tourists. So I had a working visa so I could come here. But it was crazy. There was no tourists in Japan. Yet we were here, and we talk about that, like, when in history can you go to a country that where there's no tourists but you're allowed? And not to mention it being Japan, which is one of the coolest countries in the world. We were just here, just like kind of eerie, kind of fucking insane vibe of just it felt like another planet, because there's no foreigners, and we're just like, what is happening? So that brought us a lot closer, because we had each other, and we were just thrown into this new environment. We were all starting this new chapter of life. It was so cool. And just to see how each of us has grown throughout this time and totally become just deeper, we just grown into ourselves a lot. I cannot imagine doing this without them, and I love them so much. Each of us was just kind of brought something different to the crew. Like me and Ashley are from the United States, and then Paige, Pat, and Joe are from the UK, and we were just kind of a motley crew, and we really ripped it up. We had a hell of a time in Japan, and it is always going to have such a special place in my heart. I will undoubtedly be back, and maybe I'll even have a home here one day. That has kind of always been the dream, to have like a small spot like in Tokyo or something. Just be able to travel and come here and maybe stay for part of the year, or who knows. But I love this country so much. And um, so me, Pat, and Joe met in Nagoya and just had such a hilarious night. It could not have gone off on a better note. To a T, it was just the perfect final stand. It was so funny. Just like going to pool hall and going to the club and just acting ridiculous, and just the rain and just meeting these people from Quebec, just these folks traveling, and it was debauchery. It's just kind of a food and booze crawl, but it was just this old school kind of grungy city, and so much fun. Ah, man, take a breath. I've been ripping it up here for a sec. Um, goddamn. So what am I doing in Tokyo? What brought me here? What do I take from it? One of my best friends, Santana, he asked last week, he's like, what would you call this chapter? What would you title it? And I told him the Phoenix era. That is what I kind of coined my time here in Tokyo, but I'd really say that that is summed up my entire time in Japan, because it feels like it's like, you know, BJ. Oh, that's BJ before Japan and AJ after Japan. Don't get any saucy ideas, folks. But um, in large part, the greatest transformation I've had while being here is healing from chronic back pain. Throughout my 20s, I've dealt with chronic back pain, and I had it coming to Japan. Still have it a bit, but I'll explain just how everything has shifted in my life. For the first year and a half, I was just dealing with it in a normal way, the way that I've been dealing with it for the last 7 years of my life, the entirety of my 20s when chronic pain started. And then when I came to Tokyo, I kind of had this great awakening where kind of one thing led to the other. My back got really bad, and I kind of broke down and just was tired of trying to fix it the way that I'd been trying to. And one thing led to the next, and I met some amazing people who showed me that this is actually a psychosomatic situation. It is my nervous system that is causing the chronic pain. And I kind of delved into the world of mind body healing, um, reading the books of Dr. John Sarno, who's really the pioneer in all this. His books, Healing Back Pain, The Divided Mind, and The Mind Body Prescription. And then I pretty much took on a mind body coach, and I watched YouTube videos every week, and I've been getting his daily audios for the last 9 months, where he sends out just a voice memo, just kind of giving you a lesson or just kind of trying to relax you. So the thing is, it's my nervous system that has been out of whack pretty much my whole life, and it has turned into chronic pain in my 20s. And to heal the chronic pain, I really just have to heal my nervous system and create a place of safety where it's been in a constant fight or flight or freeze mode for the last, since I was a kid. And the things that create the pain and create kind of a nervous system that is out of whack is things we go to when we're young. So like childhood adversity, which I did have for sure. And as a kid, I learned to kind of hide, to freeze up inside, to be really worried and fearful. And all that creates a lot of tension in the nervous system. And that manifests itself as pain, physical pain in the body. And when it's coming out in multiple ways in the body, which it has for me for years, like I've had pain in the front of my hips, all over my back, the side of my hips. Like a normal injury doesn't do that. And then when you can't find answers, when everybody tells you, like all the practitioners and physical therapists and stuff, that you shouldn't be having this pain, that there's really, and then when everything they show you doesn't make it improve, when you go to chiropractors and physical therapists, and I did Rolfing, the whole 11 sessions of like intense body work, acupuncture, when nothing works and MRIs aren't showing anything crazy, you got to wonder what the hell is really going on. And it took me hitting rock bottom at the beginning of 2024, or like actually April, right when I was moving from Osaka to Tokyo, for me to realize that, yeah, there is something deeper going on than just physical problem. It is what's going on inside of me. And that is a nervous system that has been in a state of tension for my whole life. And that is what I need to heal. So I embarked on this journey that I called the Phoenix era, which is like me burning away everything that I'd accumulated for the first 27, 28 years of my life, 'cause I'm 29 now, and being reborn in this new mindset of healing my nervous system, which the things I'm learning to heal are kind of impacting, or definitely impacting, every facet of my life and changing everything about me. And basically what I'm learning is how to create safety in my body. So like I was saying before, you go to the chiropractor. If you have chronic pain, you probably get an MRI. You see what's going on. Maybe you do have bulging discs. This is if you have back pain. Yet, and then we attribute the back pain to those bulging discs because we think, oh, you have physical pain. There's a what we think is a physical problem here. That's got to be causing the pain. But then there's nothing you could do to really fix that. So then we try surgery, and that pretty much never works. And it just gets worse because what's happening is you're creating more fear and more worry in the body, in the nervous system. And that is what actually perpetuates the pain. That is fuel for the fire. And that's what creates chronic pain and makes it continue for throughout our lives. And it truly is an epidemic. It's debilitating because it is physical pain in your body, but it's not a physical issue. So there's nothing to fix physically if you have chronic pain and you've done tests and you got it checked out. There's not an acute injury. There is something deeper going on, and that is the nervous system. So to heal, I'm still on the healing journey very much. I'm still putting the practices into practice, putting the lessons into practice. But all it is when I feel twinges of pain, I call them sensations. The guy I was talking about, my mind body coach, he's Jim Prusak, the man, the myth, the legend, in San Diego, and he's called the Pain PT on YouTube. And his videos are free, and they will definitely get you started on this whole mind body journey and the journey of healing, because it's not just back pain. It could be any physical manifestation in the body that you just can't find answers to. And if you're worried about it, if it's taking control of your life, if it's not letting you do the things that you want to do, that is all fuel for the fire. That just makes chronic pain worse. And that is what I've dealt with for the entirety of my 20s. I've been in a constant state of fear and worry and anxiety about it, that I hear you're too young for this. And that just obviously gives me more stress about what I'm going through. I think my body is broken. I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? And then, so whenever I would get the sensations, like say I do try to play basketball or something, and I get sensations in my body, I would go into a panic cycle and just freak out and just be like, what do I do? Why does this happen to me? What the hell? How do I get out of this? And instead, now, whenever I do, so pretty much you have to throw away everything you've learned about chronic pain. So I got rid of all the little band-aids, we call them, like the back rollers and the lumbar supports and stuff, because all that does is teach your brain that there is something wrong with your body. And to heal chronic pain, you have to do the opposite and show it that you are safe. You are safe. And when the brain realizes that you are safe, it's going to stop sending the pain signals. Pain signals are a malfunction in the nervous system that it shouldn't be sending those signals anymore. It's like a false alarm going off in your body saying there's something wrong when there's really nothing wrong. It's truly unbelievable the things that I've learned, and I can't explain everything now, but I have talked about this in other podcasts. I've gotten deeper into it. Um, but I highly just recommend Jim Prusak, The Pain PT, on YouTube to learn more about it. And then the books of Dr. John Sarno. He is the man who started this incredible work. He's healed thousands and thousands of people with his books, and just learning about this is what actually makes you heal. There's nothing you have to do other than stop trying to heal. It's insane. Like, you have to go back to what you want to do in life. You have to show the brain that you are safe. There's nothing wrong. So I've been back on just my normal gym routine, doing everything I want to do, playing sports again, playing basketball, running, and my back is better than it's ever been. I'm still, like I said, still in the process of healing. It's been about 9 months, but there's no timeline. And it's obviously hard, to really embody that, but you have to throw away like, this has to heal now. When is it going to happen? You got to just buckle up for the long haul, surrender to what you're experiencing, know that you will get better, that it will not last forever, know that you are safe, you are fine, you're secure, and then just go about life while realizing there's going to be flare ups, there's going to be hiccups along the way. Like, I have had multiple flare ups in the last 9 months. Um, but then you can't act as if there's something wrong. Like, I'm hobbling around sometimes when I do go through these flare ups because it fucking hurts. But I still go to the gym, and that actually makes it better because it shows my brain that there's nothing wrong here. You're fine. And what I say by like creating safety in the body, it really is just relaxing. It is just talking to yourself and like saying you are safe, you're secure. There's nothing to worry about here. You're absolutely fine, Vinny. You're doing great, man. You're on the path. This is nothing to worry about. There's nothing wrong with your body. This is just a malfunction in the brain, in the nervous system, but you are safe. And if I would have felt this way about a year ago, I would have been over the moon, because many of just the daily pains have pretty much totally gone away, just like the daily aches and stuff. Um, the brain and the nervous system is conditioned to think, I've dealt with every day being in pain for the last 7 years, that I'm so used to it that it's really takes a lot of work to recondition the mind and the nervous system to get out of those cycles. But you're rewiring your neural circuitry in your brain. We could do that for our entire lives. We could change the way we think. We could change our habits. We could change our brain. And that is what it takes to get out of chronic pain. It's creating new neural networks in your brain that tell your body and tell your nervous system that there is no pain here. The pain is just a thought. And so there is still conditioning in me for sure, that I'm still feeling certain sensations and stuff, but I'm just going about my life as normal. And so I had this Phoenix era, and I'm out of the prison in my mind. That was the most painful thing over the last 7 years. It wasn't the physical pain. I could handle that. I always have. It's not knowing when this is going to end. It's thinking my body was broken. It's being just so worried that I'm in my 20s and I'm already in this much pain. Like, what is going on? I'm only going to get worse. And that was the pain. That was the prison that I was living in, and that so many people live in. Now, even if I feel stuff in my body, I know that things are going to be okay. I know that I am fine. My body is healthy and strong. I'm as strong as I've been since being in college. Like, everything is changing. And that started when I came to Tokyo. And in a big way, because I started going to therapy here in Tokyo. And I thought that I was going to get a job here. Like, I applied for jobs as a writer for like English magazines and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's the dream job. That's what I want to do, but didn't get them. And I have felt a bit lost since being here, like kind of purposeless. And I haven't had a job a day job in almost a year, and or has been a year since teaching English, but I've been writing and finishing my book and creating a magazine, just doing my passion projects and my things that I want to turn into my career. Well, they are my career already. I'm just not making money off them yet. A lot of money. I am making a little bit, but um, so I felt a little lost. Like, what am I really doing here? And then I, once I realized that this was the mind body stuff happening in my body, I'm like, yeah, I want to start going to therapy to talk through the things that I did go through as a kid, to learn about the adversity that I went through, and just like get that stuff out of my system and learn more about myself and why am I dealing with chronic pain? I kind of want to get to the bottom of it. And I looked into therapists, and really one was the only one that made sense. This guy in Tokyo, and I met him, and I tried one other therapist. Didn't really work out with her, but met my man Josh, and I literally think that nothing happens by accident. That I came to Tokyo so I could meet him and just start this relationship of having a therapist who totally sees where I'm coming from and is totally relatable. He's from San Francisco, but he lives here in Tokyo, and so we just like could really relate. Both from California, and he totally understands the mind body stuff and believes in it, and has been such a positive force in my life. I look forward to seeing him every week or two just to talk about everything. And what made him so good, I thought, um, is he pretty rarely gave his opinion. He would just let me talk. Like the other therapist I had, she talked way too much, and I was just like, I feel like I'm not saying anything here. Like our session's about to end, and I like really do not feel any better. All I want to do is just get the stuff off my chest. So that's why I knew it wasn't gonna be a good fit with her. But then Josh, I would go off on a big story or tangent or something, and then we pause, and he would still not say anything, and we just sit there, and I'd think for a second, and then just like I would just try to say whatever came to mind, and I would just keep talking. By the end, I was like, well, I think that's it. I got everything. I would cried a lot, like talking about my family and childhood stuff and things I'm going through now. And it felt every time I would walk back to the station, it was like the routine of taking the train and going to kind of central Tokyo and going to therapy, and then coming back at dusk and just feeling like elated, just my soul and my heart just so much clearer because of just getting all this stuff out of my system. And that's in a large part what I'm doing with this podcast. Like, this is me just talking, and it feels really good. Like, this is kind of self therapy. But which, by the way, grab a camera, put yourself on camera, and start talking, because you feel a little bit less crazy. Like, I've just been sitting in this room for 48 minutes talking into a camera. If a camera's on, you might feel a little less crazy, like you're not just talking to yourself, but it is like self therapy. It really is. Feels great to do this. But Josh is just a fucking man, and just a great friend now. And I want him just to be my therapist and just my friend for life, that like, when no matter where I go, I can check in with him. It's just different to have a third party who doesn't know your friends, your family, or anything. They are essentially a stranger at first that you just feel like you could tell everything to. And um, it was so valuable going to therapy here and getting that experience and starting that relationship. I cannot thank him enough, and I'm just so grateful to have started that here. And I'm like, yeah, that is why I'm in Tokyo, to meet him, to do this, to go through this healing journey right now. It has been such a fucking trip. And then also doing the Zine Fest here in Tokyo, like that was such a cool experience. creating my first magazine, Citoyen du Monde, getting it and selling it here, like that was so cool. It has been such a trip, such a journey. Man, something that me and Josh talked to. I had my last session with him last week. Um, Told him that like that day, my shoulder was hurting a bit. I thought that I kind of injured it. My back wasn't feeling that great. I was feeling like a little, just kind of under the weather, a little wonky. But left the gym, and I'm just like, I just felt good. I felt happy because I'm like, yeah, I'm a human being. I'm vulnerable. I'm imperfect. I got a couple ailments here and a couple sore bones and achy joints here and there because I'm human. And it feels good to just accept that and surrender to it instead of being like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why is this hurt? Why is that hurt? When's this going to just being like, no, I'm a human being. We are fallible. We are vulnerable. And he's like, you're honoring your vulnerability. You are surrendering to it. And I thought that was so cool to just honor your vulnerability, honor what it means to be a human being. And that's just to be imperfect. That's really what it is. We are incredible, mystifying, beautiful, imperfect, strange freaking creatures. And man, to be able to share with that, that is why I write. That is why I love exploring, talking to people and stuff, is to honor that vulnerability, to honor being human, to to share that. And me sharing about my back and chronic pain and stuff, I hope that shows that I am vulnerable, and if you're going through the stuff, that you're not alone, and you gotta believe it will get better. Nothing lasts forever. I never imagined, I couldn't imagine that things would actually change. I just didn't see how. I did not see how they could. And I've realized that the healing has just been inside of me this whole time. It's creating safety in my body. And what I'm learning now to heal my chronic pain, I'm taking with me into everything I do in life, of just creating safety no matter what happens, no matter if I'm feeling stressed, if something seems impossible, just relaxing into those feelings, allowing the emotions. And that's really how you create the safety. With chronic pain, with anything, is to allow and to embrace whatever you're feeling. We say that what you embrace, you erase. So chronic pain, the sensations, the physical sensations, are nothing but emotions coming out in a physical way. So instead of fighting back, instead of freezing up, instead of trying to run from the emotions and from the physical symptoms, embrace them, allow them, accept them, and say, all emotions are okay. These are fine. I will embrace and honor these emotions. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad, to cry. Get that shit out. Get it out of your system. And then keep living your life. Honor who you are and everything you feel, everything that makes you different and unique, and the things we hold deep inside that we think are problems. They are just you being human. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's just insane to just sink into that feeling of being whole and being safe in who you are. That no matter what you're feeling, you are okay. Things will be okay. Like I've said before, if I'm not dead, things are going to be okay. And if I am, it doesn't matter anyway. It's kind of grim, but it's true. Man, I have changed in this country. I've grown. I have pursued the things that fill me up and light my soul on fire. I found so much beauty in everyday life. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss Japan. Can't believe The time is coming to an end, but I feel like it's time. I don't know exactly. I don't have anything holding me here any longer. I got Coco now, and we're moving on to the next chapter. And I still love this goddamn country. And that, I feel like, is a good time to leave. Not when I'm resenting it, when I'm over it, sick of it, but I still fucking got so much love for it. But then also, I feel the winds of change blowing, the tide's shifted. It's time for me to move on. I'll be back, obviously. I love it here. There's more to explore, there's more to see. There's more to do in this great wide world that I am eager to explore. Life is a beautiful mystery. Don't know how things are going to go. Anything that happens, to me, that's just all part of the ride. That is all part of the experience. It's all okay. It's going to be awesome. For things to be bittersweet, that means, well, that they were sweet. Times have been so good here that that's why it hurts. I cried in Nagoya. Me, Pat, and Joe were in the train station at 7 a.m. before I got on the bullet train, just crying, holding each other, just letting it out. And damn, that felt good. And then we were laughing, and to say goodbye to best friends hurts. I've done it before. Moving to foreign countries and saying goodbye to friends here, it fucking hurts. It hurts to close chapters. Man. Just looking at the pictures on the wall. Time's here, and man, I think that's gonna do it. Maybe I'll just have a good cry. Thank you all for tuning in. I love you so much. God damn it. Whoever you are not alone. We are going through this beautiful journey of life together, and you got people that care about you. They're out there. I'm rooting for you, whatever it is. I'm in your corner. As you're in mine, keep going. Life goes on. And it is nothing but a beautiful fucking ride. Much love, everybody.